Hello everyone, welcome back to Kalam Academy, and we are looking at the hand-to-hand session for the Eklavya batch. Offline students have already solved the paper, and I hope online students have also solved it, because we are going to discuss this. Right, this will be our session 4, and we will be discussing 50 questions. The questions will be regarding legislature. So let's start. Question number 1. Question number 1 says that consider the following statements. How many of the statements given above are correct regarding the principles of parliamentary government in India? So there are two kinds of government, that is parliamentary government and the presidential government. We are having parliamentary government. In United States and other countries there is presidential form of the government. So what features are there inside the parliamentary form of government? There is majority party rule. Yes, obviously there is majority party rule in the parliamentary form of the government. We have the first past the post system at the Lok Sabha. Political heterogeneity. There is no political heterogeneity. There is political homogeneity. Why? Because from the same political party, they are forming this group and they are coming into the power. So they have the same kinds of ideology, right? Therefore, it is political homogeneity in case of the parliamentary form of government. So this statement is wrong. Single membership. In the parliamentary form of government, there is executives and legislature, and these executives are responsible to the legislature. In parliamentary form of government, executives are part of the legislature itself, right? So this is like this. Therefore, single membership is not there. There is double membership. Means a minister is the member of executive as well as the member of the parliament also. Individual responsibility, there is no, means individual responsibility is not there at the collective level. There is collective responsibility in the parliamentary system. For example, the council of ministers are responsible directly to the Lok Sabha. They are either swimming or sinking together. So this statement is also wrong. So only one is correct. A will be the answer. Question number 2. Consider the following statements about the Indian and American system of government. Like the Indian president, the American president is the head of the state as well as the head of the government. In India, what is happening? There is different head of the state and there is different head of the government. De facto and the de jure, nominal head and the real head. Means prime minister is the real head and president is the nominal head. Right? There are two kinds of different kinds of heads. Whereas in presidential system like in America, what is happening? That the President of America, he is the head of the government as well as the head of the state both. So like Indian president, the American president is head of the state. The statement is wrong. They are not like the Indian president, the American president cannot dissolve the lower house of his own. So Indian presidents can dissolve the lower house, that is can dissolve the Lok Sabha. So this statement will also be wrong, whereas the American presidents cannot dissolve the lower house. So that is correct, but Indian presidents cannot dissolve, can dissolve the Lok Sabha, that is lower house. Therefore, it will be like the Indian president, the American presidents cannot dissolve the lower house. Okay. So this statement is like the American presidents cannot dissolve the lower house of his own. This statement is correct because the American president cannot dissolve the lower house, whereas in India, what is happening? The Indian presidents can dissolve the lower house. So this statement will be correct. B will be the answer. Question number 3. Consider the following. How many of the above are the merit of the parliamentary system of government? So first thing is pure separation of power. Is there pure separation of power? No. Executives are responsible to the legislature and executives are the part of the legislature. So pure separation of power cannot be there in the parliamentary form of the government. Harmony between the legislature and executives? Yes. Why harmony? Because executive is the part of the legislature, executives are responsible to the legislature, so there will be some form of harmony in the parliamentary system of the governance. That is correct. Ready alternative government? Yes. Whichever the government will be in the power, so if that government fails, right, then there are other party which may claim that they can form the government. So ready alternative of the government are there. Responsible government? Yes. The Council of Ministers are responsible to the Lok Sabha, right? This is collective responsibility. So responsible government is also there. Continuity of the policy. There is no continuity of the policy in the parliamentary form of the government, because after every 5 years this political parties changes. There different political parties coming into the power, right? Therefore, there is no continuity of the policy. So this statement is wrong for the parliamentary form. So 2, 3, 4 is the correct answer. Only 3 will be the answer. Question number 4. With reference to the removal of the Speaker of the Lok Sabha, consider the following statements. The process of removal of the Speaker is similar to that of the Chairman of the Rajya Sabha. No. The Chairman of the Rajya Sabha is President. Sorry, the Chairman of the Rajya Sabha is Vice President of India. And for removal of the Vice President, there is different procedure. There has to be ratification, resolution has to be passed in the Rajya Sabha first, and that has to be passed through the special majority. Then it has to be accepted by the Lok Sabha through the means simple majority. Means in the Rajya Sabha इफेक्टिव मेजोरिटी से पहले पास होगा, देन लोकसभा में सिंपल मेजोरिटी से पास होगा, देन जाके वाइस प्रेसिडेंट हटेंगे. बट इन फॉर द स्पीकर it is only the effective majority in the Lok Sabha itself. So this statement is wrong. When the resolution of the removal of a speaker is under consideration of the House, he has no right to vote in the case of equality of the vote. When a speaker votes on the equality of the votes, this kinds of voting is called as the casting voting. Casting voting, right? So these kinds of votes are there when the cast voting is there, when there is equality of votes. But when the removal of the speaker will be going on, they will not be presiding officers. They will be just sitting in the house, they will be taking part in the proceedings, but they will not be presiding. Therefore, they cannot do the casting vote. He has no right to say this statement is correct. He can be removed only by the resolution passed by the Lok Sabha by a simple majority. So it is not simple majority, it is effective majority, means majority of the then present at that point of time, right? His total membership minus death, resignation, right? So all these things will be considered. So this statement will be wrong. Only 2 will be the answer. So A will be the answer. Question number 5. In which of the following matters the power and the status of the Rajya Sabha is equivalent to that of the Lok Sabha? In what matters the Lok Sabha is equivalent to the Rajya Sabha? So impeachment of the president, yes, during the impeachment of the president, both has equal power. The resolution for the impeachment of the president can come up from any house, so that is there. Approval of the ordinances issued by the president, yes, for that also, means each house is equal. Why? Because the ordinance has to be ratified by both the houses, that is by the Lok Sabha as well as by the Rajya Sabha. That is also correct. Joint sitting of the two houses, no. Why? Because in the joint sitting of the two houses, the presiding officer is, the first preference is Speaker of the Lok Sabha, right? Then making recommendation to the President for the removal of the Chief Justice of India. Making recommendation to the President for the removal of the Chief Justice of India. So removal of any kinds of the Chief Justice of India or any Supreme Court judges or any High Court judges, they have equal power. So this will also be there. Introduction of Constitutional Amendment Bill. So for this also, the Constitutional Amendment Bill can also be introduced in any house, right? There is no requirement of the prior recommendation of the President of India. right? And there is no mandatory provision that it will only be introduced in the Lok Sabha. So in this case also both are equal. So as statement 1, 2, 4, 5 will be correct. C will be the answer. Question number 6. Consider the following statements. The office of leader of the House was given constitutional status by the 44th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1978. So there is nothing such that the office of the leader of the House was given the constitutional status. It is not a constitutional body at all. Under the rule of procedure, this office of leader of our House is written. So this statement is wrong. The leader of opposition is entitled to the salary, allowances and other facilities equivalent to that of the cabinet minister. So this statement is correct. They have the equal rank as the cabinet ministers, right? So they get the salary, allowances and other things similar to the cabinet ministers. The office of whip is a statutory post. The office of whip has not written in the constitution. It is not written in any statutes. It is not written under the rule of procedure also. So this statement is wrong. Only 2 is the correct. This only one statement will be correct. A will be the answer. Question number 7. Consider the following statement with reference to the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. The Speaker serves as the ultimate interpreter of the provisions of the Constitution of India within the Lok Sabha. Yes, that is correct. Look, who is the interpreter of the Constitution of India? It is the Supreme Court. Supreme Court of India is the final interpreter of the Constitution of India. But whenever the question arises that regarding the interpretation of the Constitution inside the Lok Sabha, then it will be the Speaker who will be interpreting the Constitution inside the Lok Sabha. So that is correct. The Speaker is the final authority on the interpreting the rules and procedures and the conduct of business of for both the houses. No. The presiding officers of the respective houses are responsible and they are the final authority on interpreting the rules and procedures of the conduct of the business. So a speaker, for the speaker, they will be the final authority of interpreting the rules and conducting the business in the Lok Sabha itself. So this statement is wrong. The speaker has the responsibility of interpreting parliamentary precedents within the Lok Sabha. So this is correct. Residuary power under the rules of procedure is vested in the speaker. Please understand that not everything can be written inside the constitution or inside the rule of procedure, right? Therefore this concept of residuary power, for example, in the 7th schedule of the Constitution of India, there are several lists of the in the union list, there are lists in the state list, there are lists in the cognate list. But the thing is, beyond that, there may be certain items which will be present, which has not been covered in this, because these are not the exhaustive list. So residuary power is given into the to the union. Similarly, there is residuary power has been given to the Speaker of the House. So this statement is also correct. Means 1, 3, 4 will be the answer. Is the answer. Question number 8. Consider the following statements with reference to the Raj Sabha. 1/3 of the member of the Raj Sabha retired every 3 years. Is it correct? Right. So Raj Sabha has the term of means 6 years, and after every 2 years, the 1/3 of the member of the Raj Sabha retires. The retired member of the Raj Sabha are eligible for the re-election. This is correct. The Constitution of India prescribes a tenure of 6 years for the member of the Raj Sabha. So it is actually not prescribed in the Constitution of India. The Constitution of India has given the role to the Parliament to decide the tenure of the Raj Sabha. The Parliament has decided that it will be 6 years. Why 6 years? So that the 6 will be easily divided by the 3, because 1/3 members will be new members after 2 years, right? So like this statement is wrong. Only 2 is this 2 is correct. So A will be the answer, because here not 3 years, it will be in 2 years. Question number 9. With reference to the panel of chairperson of the Lok Sabha, consider the following statements. Panel of the chairperson. This panel comes into action whenever when the chairperson and the deputy chairperson in the Rajya Sabha they are absent, right? Or whenever in the Lok Sabha the speaker and the deputy speaker of the Lok Sabha they are absent, right? Then the panel of the chairperson comes into the picture. So a member of the panel can preside over the house of the when the office of a speaker and deputy speaker is vacant. No. When the office of a speaker and the deputy speaker is vacant, then at that point of time it will be the responsibility of the president to decide who will be the presiding officer in the Lok Sabha. The member from the panel of the this panel of chairperson will not preside. Why? Because it was the speaker who has appointed this panel of chairperson, but a speaker itself is not there. They are vacant. So this panel of chairperson, there is no means there is no such things which should exist, because the speaker post itself has got vacant. The person who has appointed them itself is not in the office now, right? So that is there. So in this case, what is happening? President decides who will be the presiding officer. But in case of absent, means whenever the speaker is absent and the deputy speaker is both absent, then any member from the panel of the chairperson, they can be the presiding officer of the Lok Sabha. So this statement is wrong. As per the Constitution of India, the chairperson of the panel are nominated by the speaker amongst the member of the Lok Sabha. So there is nothing such written in the Constitution of India. It is written inside the rule of procedure of the Lok Sabha. So this statement is also wrong. Neither 1 nor 2 should be the answer. Question number 10, an easy question. Which of the following act led to the foundation of the second house, that is Council of States in the Indian Legislature? Means simply it is asking that since when bicameralism came into India. So as all of you know that the bicameralism came into India through this Government of India Act 1919. So B will be the answer. Question number 11. Consider the following statements. Statement 1, statement 2. Statement 1 is the Rajya Sabha has no power to vote on demand for grants. This statement is correct. Right. Rajya Sabha does not vote on the demand for grants. The demand for grants is only voted inside the Lok Sabha. So this is correct. Second thing, a money bill dealing with the taxation cannot be introduced in the Lok Sabha. So a money bill is always introduced inside the Lok Sabha on the prior recommendation, of the President of India, right? So this statement is also correct. But looking at this, you will feel that the statement 2 is not the explanation of statement 1. So what should be there? That both statement 1 and 2 are correct, but statement 2 is not the correct explanation for statement 1. Question number 12. With reference to adjournment sine die, consider the following statements. Now adjournment sine die, it is being announced by the presiding officer of the house. For the case of Lok Sabha, it will be the speaker. For the case of Rajya Sabha, it will be the chairman, right? So they will be doing the adjournment sine die. Adjournment sine die means the house will be remain adjourned till it is being summoned again, till it is being called again, right? So adjournment sine die means terminating a sitting of the parliament for a definite period. So actually this is the date is not given while adjournment sine die is being pronounced, right? So it is for the indefinite period. Indefinite period, therefore this statement will be wrong. Second is the power of adjournment sine die lies with the President of India. No, it lies with this presiding officer Okay, so it lies with the presiding officer in case speaker